Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy mid-season finale. This episode definitely could have been an email. We have bigger themes surrounding the show that I really want to talk about tonight. So we're obviously going to talk about the episode and the baptism of it all. What was the cook's name, the B&B cook's name? It was like, where did she come from?
Nowhere. She came out of no place.
Yeah, but I'm glad we trucked her in for the mid-season finale. I'm just gonna roll my little intro and we'll just jump right into this. Hold on one second. Okay, you guys. Full disclaimer, and I think I should issue just a blanket trigger warning for this live. I'm going to be talking about Garrison, the Garrison of it all. I feel like, and I told James when we first logged on that if I become a liability for him, I will not take it personally if he has to be like, ooh, Sarah, I got to step away from you for a bit. So if I lose
radioactive.
If I lose, I'm prepared to lose followers. But I just when Garrison passed away, obviously that is such like a raw, horrible tragedy. And I feel like I should preface this by saying that the suicide prevention hotline is 988. If you or a loved one is in need, please, 988 is out there. There are resources. Your life matters. Your life matters. When I heard the news of Garrison's passing, I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. And you obviously, in those immediate moments, days, weeks that follow, as like content creators, none of us wanted to like point the finger of blame at anyone, right? I don't know, James. Right. I don't want to speak for you, but
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
and not only do you not want to point the finger of blame at people, but there was one point where I was actually questioning whether I should cover Sister Wives anymore.
Exactly. You and I, we took a step back for a few weeks. We didn't cover the show on our rewind. And we tried to give grace and peace for the family to figure out what they wanted to do. Right? I don't think any of us would have blamed all of them for straight up just quitting the show. And actually, I can see by the numbers, like the views on my videos, I've heard some of the podcast recappers talk about their numbers are down. I think that people have stepped away from the show. And I think that is completely the right move. If that is the right move for you, that is the right move. I chose personally to still cover the show because it seemed like the family obviously still wanted to go on with the show. I had people in my Facebook group say, I was touched by suicide and I still had to go to work. This is work for this family. I'm at the point now where I feel like there has been a Garrison erasure this season, and I understand it to an extent. Obviously, his relationship with Kody was such a focal point of the show, and I think to be tasteful, I could see them editing a certain amount of that out, but to completely remove him entirely, I honestly feel like has done a huge disservice. I'm very upset with the mid-season finale. I feel like we talked about a baptism. Like, who the fuck cares? We talked about there's real shit going on with this family. And my last video was about how I feel like this family is losing the plot of the show. The one teaser that I included in my last video was Janelle, was, you know, Kody saying like, one of my kids told me Janelle was moving, and Janelle was like, I don't feel like I have to tell Kody anything. You guys are on a TV show about your family.
Right.
If there was something really gnarly, like a conversation that took place between Garrison and Kody, and they wanted to edit that out, completely understandable. But Garrison, I feel like, and as someone myself who has, I struggle daily with mental health issues. And while I don't believe I have ever had ideation and thoughts of harming myself, I have had those thoughts of like, boy, if I just never existed, that would be great, you know? And when you couple that with, we talked so much about like alcohol consumption in this episode, and we know that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there was not one peep in the preview of addressing what happened to Garrison. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
Right. Well, I would say this. I think it's twofold. I think, one, there's a possibility that they didn't address Garrison because Garrison was, like, I kind of touched on it last night. I think Garrison was such a figure that if we watched Garrison talk about his relationship with his dad and maybe other family members, Robin and, you know, his siblings, and we could see the decline, and knowing the end result, I think it would have triggered a lot of people. One, two, I think that especially in light of Kody's behavior as it's being presented on the show, it would have made him look god awful terrible. Like, my man would be, at this point, Kody is already headed to a point where his character is irredeemable as far as the story arc. But if you pile on to that his blatant disregard and discarding of his kids, especially one who is experiencing a mental crisis, but Kody can't experience it. And we get to talk about it a little bit, especially when it comes to the baptism stuff. When you have a parent who can't experience, you know, any assistance with life for anybody else, and it always has to be about him. He has what they call a main character syndrome or whatever.
Oh, totally.
Like yeah, he's always the main character, and he can't even see that his kids might be going through something or might need him because he's so wrapped up with himself. I think that might have been the thing that set the whole thing off. I'm still kind of holding out, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they have, if they don't address him during the course of the season, they at least have something to commemorate him and his life, you know, just for the fans. Like, I understand if Janelle and maybe some of the other family members don't want to be on camera talking about him because it's too painful. I can understand that. But I think that just out of respect for the fans, that they should put something together that's tasteful and respectful for him, just for people who have that connection to him. Because there are a lot of fans who have a strong connection to him. And like I said, when he died, you know what I mean, that triggered a lot of folks. It triggered me. You know, because of life experiences I've had with folks I've come in contact with and things of that nature, family members and all that, that when you watch it, you have like a certain guttural reaction. Isn't this the point of reality TV? To give some realities, things that mirror people's lives, so that we can have that discussion about those things. We feel connected to these characters. And now you're trying to erase it. And like you said, I think that overall, that's them losing the plot line. That's you losing the point of the show. What are we doing?
I've been watching this latest season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with my mom as I've been recovering from my surgery. And we just watched the episode where Mary has the conversation with her son about his addiction issues. And it was so raw and vulnerable. And I know that they got a lot of heat, some backlash, like, why would you air this? But the way I perceived it is I was like, that was so brave to let the world in on a struggle that so many of us have. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I also have like mental health issues. I mean, those things kind of go hand in hand a lot of times. And I feel like we're missing an opportunity to to break the stigma. We're completely erasing Garrison from this season as if poof, the last 2 seasons of his relationship, his bad relationship with Kody never happened. And Kody has had the benefit now of this season of not interacting with any of his other children besides Robin's kids. And so you see him being a dad, being a good dad, and we don't get the full picture from any of the other kids about how terrible this man is as a father. And how much and I've said this in videos that it's getting really hard for me to not point the finger of blame. And I'm telling you, James, it's getting real hard. It's getting real hard for me. And I think acting, I'm just going to say it, acting like Garrison's relationship with Kody did not play a factor in what happened is we are lying to ourselves.
Right.
I'm not saying it's Kody's fault. I will not say, Kody, this is your fault. But it's certain. I was actually, because I reread the TMZ article that came out the day, because we have some timeline issues we got to talk about here. And I had to go back because I was like, wait, did Janelle move before? Wasn't she talking to police when Garrison passed? And it never said Janelle was at the scene, right? So I think she from what I could deduce was social media, I think she moved sometime in January of 2024. But because she says in the show, Garrison, Gabe, and Savannah will still be here. So she still planned to split her time. I don't know. I'm just gobsmacked by, and I see someone saying like, I'm not reading people's comments. I will get to people's comments. I'm sorry. I just kind of had to word vomit. I missed last week. I just had to come on here and kind of just verbal diarrhea for a minute. So I apologize.
Had to get it in. Get it in. I got you.
Yeah. But okay. I'll kind of weave my thoughts through as we get through. This is what I could find real quickly here, James. I had to do a little bit of a deep dive. This picture was from Christine's Instagram, January 21st, 2024. They're in North Carolina at a Waffle House. Now, Janelle is not in this picture, but I believe that this is when what we saw just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, this next picture is from the church's website, their Instagram. I believe this is Aurora, her baptism. I think this is Kody's arms. And this is in April of 2024. Garrison died March 5th.
Right.
So I think the whole storyline that we just saw, oh, is that better? Do we like that, or do we like this? What do we like? I don't know. Anyways, you guys let me know.
There you go. Only one cup.
I think that this baptism storyline was all stuff that was shot after Garrison passed away. Which puts some of the things said in this episode into kind of an interesting light, honestly.
Right.
Let me get to some super chats real quick. Hollywood Deli Podcast, thank you so much. Garrison should have been honored at least. I think that that's coming. I think because they did mention his passing in the press release for season 19. So I think it definitely will be acknowledged. And someone, I did see a comment saying would you really tease a death? And I'm like, okay, that's point taken, okay. So maybe they're just trying to be tactful. I don't know. But so far I'm just like, WTF.
Right.
Sarah D, thank you so much. $10 super chat. We tend to watch reality shows for entertainment, but I was so devastated when I heard about Garrison because they didn't realize that I actually cared for this family. I hope they give him a tribute. Yeah, I think a lot of people were shocked by how close to home it felt. I see a lot of people in the chat telling their own stories about being touched by a tragedy like this in the same way. It's like we can't even say the word on YouTube, right? We have to dance around it and say unalive and self-harm, and I really wish that we could just fucking talk about it, because
Right.
if it could help one person realize that there are resources, that their life matters, that having those thoughts, it's okay to tell people if you have those thoughts, because we need to be about saving lives. We need to not be about sweeping it under the rug just to make a nice reality TV show. Right?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, because I think that too, there's a point where it can be done. I guess maybe that's part of the struggle too, is that there's a possibility Puddle Monkey can't do it responsibly. So maybe it's better that they don't try to do it as opposed to doing it ham-fisted or ham-handedly and desecrating the entire event. But I do agree that I think that a lot of this stuff, whether it's addiction issues, depression, going through certain things, financial struggles, these things have to be talked about, because a lot of what happens is in these situations is you feel like part of the struggle or the big obstacle is that you feel like you're fighting the fight alone, and you're the only one who's going through this. You're the only one who's sad. You're the only one who has depression. You're the only one who suffers from this illness or this sickness, which is addiction, and nobody else can understand it. And if you can help, like you said, if you can tell these stories to show that other people are going through it, you're not just helping the people who are addicted, but there's a potential that you could help the people who are around those individuals, the families and friends who care about them, but might not understand what they're going through. Because you have one aspect, okay, you overweight, why don't you just stop eating? Oh, you go to the gym. Oh, you drink? Well, just don't drink. You do drugs? Stop doing drugs. Stop doing whatever.
If
Rugs or
only it
whatever.
was so easy,
Right. If you
Yeah.
could do it, then everybody would choose to do it. If everybody could choose to be rich, there wouldn't be a poor person. So if it's just a matter of choice, who chooses to be, I'm gonna be poor. I think I like that. They like the way it fits.
Yeah.
I like the way it tastes. But I think that by showing it, you open that door to where, like you said, it's not only the conversations, but it could lead to further understanding, which could help with the healing aspects and properties of that experience. So I think that part is important as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's jump right in. My very first note was this episode could have been an email. I have exactly one page of notes because the big mid-season finale. So mid-season finale, James. I heard that this season was 24 episodes. This
Right.
was episode 20. We're not having 20 more episodes of season 19, right? Like they
I don't
teased
know.
the tell-all already. So
Right.
what are we thinking? Like 4 or 5 more episodes in the tell-alls? What are we thinking?
I don't know, because what did he say? He said this is the mid-season welcome to spring or
Coming
something
in
to that
spring.
effect.
Oh, yes, because if you haven't heard, Alec Baldwin's reality show is going in the Sister Wives time slot. So I don't know how. I'm assuming that'll go on for a couple months. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it
I
said
know Alec
coming
Baldwin
in
had a reality
spring.
show.
So what are we? I do think it was a classy and tasteful move to take a break when the 1-year anniversary hits. I don't think we need to be airing current episodes while obviously. So I think that was a good move on for whatever that's worth. I don't know. But so I think at most we have like 4 or 5 more regular episodes and then tell all. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because the weird part is that technically spring is what, March to June? And so if
Yeah.
they're saying that, this is the new spring season, welcome to the spring season, they at least have to go until March. So, I guess maybe that's about six or seven more episodes. Like we might max out at maybe 10,
Mhm.
including the tell all. And it might be the tell all and any special like after season, postseason episodes that they ran, like kind of like they did with the talk back, look back in the wedding
Mhm.
special.
Yeah.
So it might be something to that effect.
Yeah. I I loved the whole Janelle. I loved watching Janelle move because she reminds me of my mom in a lot of ways. Like just will get very frantic to just get it done. Well, or like however it is, like let's get it done. When David was sitting on the I don't know, the entryway where like the gate could have hit the moving van, I was like, my mom is in town to help me out right now. And we were watching the episode and watching Janelle freak out. I turned to my mom. I said, "That's so you." And then, after the moment passed that like he didn't get hit by the gate, and then Janelle was like, "Well, those gates move really fast," like trying to like qualify her frantic energy. I'm like, that is so my mom. It's not even funny.
No, I'm telling you, he could have been cut in half. Them gates was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, or like I'm thinking Janelle's freaking out because she didn't opt for the like extended insurance or something. And like if
Right.
they ding the car, they're gonna I don't know. But Janelle, it was so funny. And someone in my Facebook group was like, so we got camera eyes on Christine and Janelle and their chat, but we didn't get a camera on David and Truly in the moving van. I wonder what they were chatting about for that days long journey to.
Well, it's probably like a lot of radio. They probably had a lot of radio.
I said I think they were talking about dragons. I have a niece who just turned 11. She loves all things fantasy, sci-fi, dragons. I could totally see Truly being a dragon girly. So I'm pretty sure they were talking about dragons. It did kind of break my heart a little bit when we get like that in like live interview with Janelle, and she's like, yeah, I'm still gonna have Gabe, Garrison, and Savannah here in and I was like, because for what's to come, and it's just it's gonna come in a couple months, and it breaks my heart. It really does. Hold on one second. We get the clip that was kind of one of the teasers of Kody being really like ominous. He's driving around in his car like a gangster, and he's like, it was never intended for me to know that Janelle was moving. One of my kids slipped up and told me by accident. And
right.
Are we all in agreement that kid was McKelty? Or who do you think was the kid that slipped up and said that Janelle was moving? Who still talks to Kody?
Well, at this point, because if you remember, there was I'm heavy leaning towards McKelty, but at this point, there was like a little flash period where Gwendolyn was kind of working her way back in.
You're right.
You know, so she could be the one. She could be the one who let it slip. So.
Yeah, and I feel like Logan has always been like Switzerland. I think he's pretty, but I don't think that Logan is a rat. Like, I think Logan has his wits about him that he wouldn't disclose something he knew Janelle, because it seems like Janelle didn't want him to know what she was up to.
No. Well, because even with that, I understand why. Like story-wise, it might make a difference impactfully for Kody to know, so that Kody can comment on, obviously, and give her the haterade and the stink eye about her leaving and how it hurt him and the family and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, from Janelle's perspective, this is just merely an opportunity for her to take some of her power back. Like, for her to reclaim her autonomy. Kody can't tell me, he's no longer in a position where he can tell me where to go, when to go, how to go, and how much to spend when I get there. And not only can he not tell me anything about what I'm about to do, but he doesn't even have to know. And I think that was like a step towards her independence. So I think that's why it was important for her not to tell. And it's a shame that, like, I get the kids wanting to have, relationships on both sides, but to a point, you kind of took that from her a little bit,
Yeah.
Just saying. It.
Let's hit up a few of these super chats. Caitlin, thank you so much. We can't just act like he doesn't exist or problems with his dad doesn't exist. I feel Sister Wives lost touch with what they wanted to show us. I do too. And I said in my last video, which had nothing to do with Garrison, but I'm feeling a bit shortchanged, that I feel like the Browns I feel like we have entered into a social contract with the Browns, like a parasocial relationship. We watch the show, which lines their pocket with money, and in turn, they're putting their lives on display for our entertainment consumption. I mean, I know it sounds kind of crass, but that is like what it is at the end of the day. And I'm not saying that they're not entitled to any privacy whatsoever, but if you're gonna put your life on TV, don't fucking lie to me. There were so many easy lies in this episode. Janelle saying, I can believe that Janelle has never had a shot before, but when she says that she doesn't really drink, literally like 3 episodes ago, she said that she drank a whole bottle of wine doing the family's taxes.
Right.
What are you talking about? Like, that's a fucking lie. When Robin goes, oh, I've never even been in a bar. Girl, we've seen you in a bar on the show. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Well, she played the Little Miss Princess while she was in the bar, though. Oh, I don't drink. And she told on everybody.
Yeah.
When they went down and were like, let's have some beers or whatever. We'll have the sampler beers.
Yeah.
And she went back and told.
What I did love about the bar scene this episode is when Janelle was like, I can feel it in my legs. I was like, yes, Janelle.
She was like,
it
Janelle
reminded me of It reminded me of The Office where Pam's like, I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
Well, because that's the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
Janelle had said during the course of that episode or during the course of that scene that, I don't want to drink and get drunk. I'm like, Janelle, it's too late. You are already drunk. You are what the French call a lightweight. Like,
Yeah.
there's no disrespect to lightweights.
New girl, that's budget friendly, and
Right,
it's way healthier on you. I built up quite a tolerance, I'm
right.
proud of that. But yeah. So being a lightweight is, if you're gonna drink, that's the most responsible way to drink. One of my best friends has like half a glass of wine and she is like tanked. So she'll never have a drinking problem because that is her drinking problem.
The problem is she can't drink. Like, well, I mean, I think that I think that that's also a thing too, where like, especially when I was younger, like I had an extremely high tolerance, and I don't test it anymore, so I don't know where I'm at. But the whole thing is that you treat it, and this is also part of like I guess I wish some of the reality shows or some of the shows would actually address this aspect of it. That when you do have like that high tolerance, you treat it like it's a superpower. Like it's something to be proud of. Like I could stand there, I could tell some stories.
Yeah.
And it would be the stories I could tell would be absolutely ridiculous. Like I'm sitting there thinking of like 3 or 4 instances where I was doing some stuff where I am appalled at myself for stuff I was doing, like how much I was taking down.
Yeah.
But we treat it like it's a superpower. And at the end of the day, I've always been envious of people who could go out and have one shot or one drink and they're good for the rest of the night. Like, because having that ability, like if in order for me to feel anything, I would have to go out and I'm spending money, or I'd have to, do what we used to call pre-gaming, where you have to go buy some stuff. And before you even go out, you have to get started, because that way you'll be almost equal with everybody who's been there for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yes.
So yeah.
Because who wants to be the person that orders like 5 glasses of wine at dinner? Like,
right.
Yeah. So you drink one before you leave the house, so you can have like the appropriate like 2, and you
right,
normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you sit there drinking whiskey with,
Yeah.
bring me another one of whiskeys, double it up,
Yeah.
No ice. I just want a straight glass, 4 fingers. You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And you're the reason why the tab is so high.
Yeah, I will say sobriety makes going out to eat a whole lot more cost effective. My mom and I went to Cheesecake Factory for lunch and it was like $50 for both of us. We both got side salads and like it was
we had desserts.
Awesome. Yeah. You could have a whole shebang and it's awesome.
And you can remember the evening.
Raiders Ma says, my first note on this episode was barf Kody with the towel.
Yeah.
What did James? Yeah, because we obviously gotta talk about it. So we're inside the McMansion. A rare event. Kody's cleaning. Probably an even rarer event. And he's saying he's trying to turn Robin on. And then he tells us a story about how he is often one to come out of the shower and just flex and say, like, you like what you see, baby? And
right.
And then it's like Aurora trots up the stairs and it's like, hey guys, want to talk about baptism?
Yeah. I mean, the nature of that is very disturbing, because that's like you saying a bunch of stuff and then getting caught like, I jump out there with my towel and how I like holding that towel up, not around my waist. And it's just there hanging. You know how it is. You know what I'm saying? And here comes your daughter into the room. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, get it together. And I will say this, because he said he was cleaning so that he could turn Robin on. Bruh, I've heard that joke before. I've said that joke before. But here's the thing. If you're going to be cleaning to turn your wife on, try using a little soap. Because this dude was just there rinsing dishes out. That's not the only thing that's going to be wet in that situation is the dishes, bro. Like, it's just not.
they had it on the schedule that they were going to be filming in the house. They had Molly maids come out, obviously. They deep cleaned the entire house, and then there's Kody like wiping the sink after Molly maids came, right?
Right.
Let's get real. Which I have
even
no
then,
problem.
you can't wash the dish again.
Yeah,
wash
I
2,
have no
3
problem
cups.
with like production lying to me like that, like make believe that Kody cleans his house, like whatever. But all this other stuff is like, I got beef. I got serious beef.
Well, that was them picking something to talk about.
Yeah. JT Pittman, thank you so much. I enjoy your recap discussion way more than the actual show. You're right. I don't trust Puddle Monkey to do a Garrison tribute tastefully. I mean, I think honestly, I don't envy their position having to address it, having to put something together. I just think the way I kind of live my life is I put it all out there, right? I don't hide my shit, because hiding it makes it seem like there's something to hide. And I think I spent years. I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 19. I don't think it was till I was at least 30 till I felt comfortable actually having a conversation about my diagnosis. And so I get people wanting to suffer in silence, because I did it for a long time. But I think it's really helpful now. I follow Instagram pages that are all about OCD. I never knew other people suffered the way I suffered. It makes you feel less alone. And so I think Puddle Monkey TLC has a huge opportunity, and they're already prepping us with telling us that they're calling the AUB a cult on the show. They're dissing polygamy, that this is not the way to live. This is not the way to raise a family. Let's go one step further and talk about how all of this played into Garrison Brown's mental health issues. Because I think that would really be helpful for people. I mean, mental health issues don't discriminate. It's not like you grow up in a certain set of circumstances and that means you get mental health issues, or that you grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth and that means you're immune from mental health issues. That's definitely not true. But I think we are just being dishonest, and I'm struggling. I am struggling.
Well, I think that there's a point too where when you look at the series as a whole, like part of my complaint yesterday as I was watching the show was simply this: they've reached a point of disconnect with the audience because they refuse to share anything with the audience. If you have a story, like just in any good storytelling, you have, in order for you to care what happens to the character on whatever it's a story, a play, a movie, whatever, TV show, in order for you to care about what they're going through, their struggles, their obstacles or whatever, we have to have some connection to that character before we can connect with their struggles. And where the Brown family is kind of failing, like I said yesterday, what do we know about what's going on with Mary? The first time I saw the lady who retired from her place was yesterday. I have no idea who this woman was. You just dropped her and she's retiring. I don't give a shit. You have Janelle. She's going down to North Carolina. Okay, cool. I've seen Janelle on the show. I understand some of her struggles, but where she was to where she is now, we haven't really seen that transition other than her having an argument, her kind of saying that she doesn't want to really be with Kody. Now all of a sudden she's moving to North Carolina. Christine and David, oh, the love story of the ages. At the end of the day, what do we really know about David? Nothing. We just know that Christine said that he's the love of her life, which is great for her and it's great for her life. But as far as storytelling is concerned, this is a piss poor job of storytelling because we don't really have a connection with David other than the fact that he's Christine's husband. And he's not, and more to the point, he's not Kody. That's the only thing we can really say about him because he really hasn't had that opportunity.
He's bald and he has tattoos. He's the anti-Kody.
Well, Cody's bald, and the only thing he don't have is tattoos. Let's be frank. You know?
But he's not opposed to them. He just has a phobia of them.
Right.
Right.
He doesn't want to mar his flesh.
No.
With pictures that are less than him.
My husband is covered in tattoos. I don't know if my mom will watch this. I have no idea. But I've been toying around with getting one. But I am 37 years old. And I do not want to have to tell my mom I got a tattoo. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's a strong decision. Because when you're 18,
I'm gonna have to like be able to stand on business with that, right. and I don't know.
Just do it in passing. That's all.
She gave me
just walk in like I got it.
Take me out. So. Wisco Gal 61, thank you so much. I thought I caught a glimpse of Gwen's wife helping to load the truck and flag stuff. Did anyone else? Yes, we saw B. Is it B or Bia?
I think it's Bia. I want to say Bia.
It's Beatrice. I'm not sure what her nickname is, but yes, she was there. Gwen was there. And Gabe in his I Am Knuff sweatshirt, which I loved. Because I loved the like Barbie media era where they were promoting Barbie hardcore. I loved that. So I loved that little throwback. Johan V. Bronx, thank you so much. They got to have a dishwasher in that McMansion. Yeah. Some people use their dishwashers as like storage for their like pots and pans and stuff, and they prefer to hand wash. I do know people like that. It's not me, but and also it saves on water when you allegedly, but I don't know if that's actually true because I feel like hand washing uses a lot of water.
Right.
So well, I think like talking out my ass.
Depends how you hand wash. That's all it is. Just depends on how you do it. If you run the water the whole time, you're not saving water.
And don't a lot of things these days, like my washing machine is like high efficiency or whatever. It puts out like a spittle of water for a load of laundry. So I don't know. Elizabeth Murphy, thank you so much for the super sticker. And KM Gilbertson, thank you so much. Hey. KR Sexy Talk is almost as gross to me as any time Kody or Robin talk about God and faith. Can't put my finger on the why, but the whole scene with Aurora just made me feel sick. I had to. Okay, James, you're Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk baptism for a mo, because I was baptized Catholic, but I grew up Lutheran. I was only when we started attending the Lutheran church that I grew up in, my mom asked if we would have to be rebaptized. And the pastor said, no, we believe in one baptism for remission of sins and all of that jazz. And I went through confirmation and first communion in my Lutheran church. I was talking to my mom because my understanding was, because when Aurora was saying that she wants to get baptized, but it doesn't mean she's joining their church, I was like, isn't that what baptism means? And so I was talking to my mom, and my mom was like, no, not necessarily. Like you're getting baptized into the family of God. But they obviously are expecting you to join their church family. What's your take on it?
Well, here's the thing. There's I think the discrepancy comes in the form of like the twofold of typical or traditional baptism. One, if you get baptized and you're a baby, then there's no choice involved. And at that point, you're being indoctrinated into the family, like a heavenly family. But when you're an adult and you go down and you make the conscious decision, you start attending a church or a faith, and you start going every week, and you starting to learn about the said faith because you're attending Bible study and things of that nature, those types of activities. And then they say, let's get a baptism going. You're making a choice. So at that point, but like what Catholics do is you'll get and I'm sure there's other religions as well, Christian religions that do it too. Baptists, I think, do it as well, where you get baptized and then later on you have a confirmation.
That's what I had. Yeah.
Right, of your faith. And that's the point where you're closer to an adult. Usually it's around like 12, 13. They'll let you turn 18 and decide for yourself. But they usually have you do it when you're actually consciously making a decision. So when Aurora is going to this faith and she's getting baptized, now keep in mind, she's already been baptized by the AUB. So it's not a question of whether she's being entered into the family of Christ because she's been baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. That's not what it is, because she's already done that. But she's making a choice to be baptized by this church. So I see that as something way more significant than just her getting dunked in some water.
Oh, I see it as a rejection of Mormonism.
Right.
Because
they have it. They have the LDS church there,
Right. And it's not like she's getting baptized Baptist or non-denominational or something, and then maybe she'll move and attend a different also Baptist or non-denominational church. The church she goes to does not preach Joseph Smith. And her mom's family, you can tell Robin's face when she brought up this conversation was like, what now? You said what now?
Yeah.
You might as well have just told Robin that you need help hiding a body outside. Like, excuse me, come again? Baptism? What?
And that's the whole thing with this whole discussion. This kind of irksome one to me, and is way disturbing, because she's coming to her family asking for permission. And I think there's reasons as to why it worked out the way it did. It was staged the way it was. But she came to her family, asked for permission to get baptized. Okay. And the way they responded was like she had said, hey, mom, I want to start stripping on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like, what the shit? Like, why are you so angry and surprised? Like, she's going to church. What do you care? Like, why are you that upset? Unless, of course, it has to do with your admission into the AUB church and Robin's ability to be able to go back. So, I mean, there's still that. It's still floating around.
Yeah, and when you hear like Melanie and Corey talk, it seems like Robin has definitely not shut the door on the AUB.
Right.
So, and how kindly does the AUB look on people that have children that have defected? Not only to the LDS, like that would be like a slight against them, but to an entire subsect of Christianity that does not recognize Joseph Smith as anything.
Right.
They don't buy into any of his teachings. And then, yes, Teresa, this is a good point. Then to ask Kody to baptize her. Now, in the church I grew up in, it does say that any Christian has the ability to baptize. If someone is like dying in the street and they ask you to baptize them as a Christian, I can say in the name of I don't even know. No, hopefully nobody ever asked me to do that, because I would fuck that up. But that, like, technically anybody, you don't have to be the pastor, right? But Would you ask someone of a whole ass different religion to baptize you into this church? Does that make any sense?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a disturbing nature, and this is the part where it gets super, super duper cringy.
Yeah.
Because again, this is a point where this is what I guess was talking about earlier, but this is a point where in order for Aurora to make it acceptable for Kody, she has to make her special event about Kody. You understand what I mean? So she's getting baptized, but in order for it to be special, in order to get his approval, all of a sudden it has to pull Kody onto the stage, and he has to take center stage in that particular event or that life event. So it's not just Aurora's day where she's getting baptized, it's Kody doing the baptism, just
Oh my
like,
God,
which is a
James.
parallel.
Someone just commented, Fifi, Aurora asking him to baptize her made me feel like that's their version of Maddie
Right,
asking him to
exactly.
marry her and later named her baby after him. Aspen and McKelty got walked down the aisle. A forced moment. Yeah, where Kody gets to be the center of attention.
Right,
Great,
right,
great call out. I 100% believe that.
right. And I think that there's
Sarah is wild.
also
I am.
yeah, right. I think
I'm,
there's
I'm
also a parallel
yeah.
between like having Maddie and having Kody. Like the way they're trying to do it, just like Robin usurped Christine's pictures way back in the day, they're taking
Yeah.
various storylines from the previous kids and reintegrating her kids into the storyline. Because if you recall, like the whole selection of a church and a selection of a faith, that was a Maddie storyline. Way back
Yes.
in the day. That was a Maddie storyline.
That
So
Maddie wasn't capable of selecting a church because, like, frontal lobes and all of this
right.
nonsense.
And even when she wanted to go to the LDS church, it was a whole storyline for Maddie. So this is just like basically rehashing a lot of ground that we covered with other kids, but we're just doing it now with Robin's kids. And again, I think that this is the way that they're trying to connect us to Robin's kids because they haven't talked about Robin's kids. Aurora, Brianna, Dayton, they've all been hidden away from the cameras for years.
Yep. 100%. Caitlin, thank you so much. They want the perfect family. Imagine it's crumbling. And yeah. So Kody literally is benefiting because they obviously cut out a huge portion of this season that involved like Garrison and Gabriel and Savannah probably too. Which I'm not going to bemoan that too much, but Kody has had the benefit now then of getting to seem like a good dad. And it's his kids that have iced him out. It's Madison and all her shit talking. That's all we've heard about this season. When literally one of the last episodes of season 18 was that dinner at Garrison's where he's like, I got the car that dad told me not to get. I have this job. I just bought a house. Look at all the things I'm doing in spite of him, And where Kody is not having any public reckoning for any of that.
Right.
Because we should, and yeah, the man did lose a child, but how much, I guess it remains to be seen how much this has actually affected him, because it certainly has not altered the way he interacts with his children.
Right. Well, I think that the bigger problem that Kody has, and this is just from the image side of things, I think the bigger problem that he's encountering is that he's trying to demonstrate what a good parent he is and how involved he is in his kids' lives. And the only thing that is genuinely doing is demonstrating how uninvolved with his other kids' lives that he actually is, because he's taken such an interest in even the most minuscule, minute, small ball events that are happening in Aurora's life, you're making a big deal. Like, she sat there and cried because she was getting her ears pierced. You know, and he sat there and bubbling over that. Then he's sitting there crying because she chose a church. She's going to church. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Like, that's what we're reduced to. Meanwhile, Maddie is going through serious things. I'm just citing her because she's on the show currently. But meanwhile, she was going through serious things. She had a child who was going through major surgeries.
Yes.
And you weren't there for that.
No.
So it's hard for me to say that you're a great dad, you know, and of course we talk about Isabel to death, but that will be another example. You let her, you were talking about her going to Jersey to get her back, you know, cut up by herself. And okay, but I'm still a great father because I pay attention to the tenders. Like, that is crazy to me and it's insulting. So I think the bad job on PR stunt.
Definitely hard agree. K.M. Gilbertson, thank you so much. Exactly. And how about treating Aurora like she's not in her 20s by this point?
Right.
Yeah. I can appreciate, and I actually value how much Aurora values the opinion of her parents. But I think it's in a completely unhealthy way. But like, you know, James, you and I are parents, and I think both of us hope that our kids would like with something that is a relatively big decision, like what church you attend. If they did want our opinion, I would be honored to give my input. But honestly, I wouldn't be standing in the way or anything like that. But yeah, it's we are definitely infantilizing all of the children in Robin's house. You wouldn't think that Aurora was in her mid-20s. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. And not even to be like the creepy dude about it, but it's just like, I think that for a young lady, like, it's especially when you see the storyline of the OG3 and how they were taken advantage of in so many ways by Kody in this situation. And we could talk about like the power struggles, the institutionalization, and how everything worked against them. For them to depower these young ladies by trying to infantilize them, I think is not only reprehensible, but if you're trying to raise young ladies, how do you attract a man? A man, not just a dude with an appendage. How do you attract a man who is going to partner with your wife when you're partner with your daughter when you teach your daughter to act like a child? What you're partnering her with is somebody who wants to date and be in union with a child. Because there's nothing attractive about a young lady who's in her 20s, you know, oh, daddy, I want to get will you baptize me, please? That shit is not cute. That's not even kind of cute. That's ridiculous. Like, you have to raise her so she can. I don't mind giving my input or my opinion on things that my kids are going through, but I want to be able to give them the tools that they can make their own decisions. They use me as an advisory position, as not a decision-making position. There's a difference.
Sounding boards. We're bounce your ideas off me. I'll tell you if maybe that's something I would do, maybe that's something I wouldn't do. But yeah, and especially the last episode where they're like Kody is talking about how many kids he envisions them having, and it's like, dude, that is none of your fucking business.
Right. But that's another thing though. Like, how do you go from having a conversation about the most adult thing you could possibly do, which is bring forth life and be responsible for little ones, and then that same person can't even decide whether they want to get baptized or not? You can't decide for you what church you go to, but you're gonna start having babies. What are we doing?
That should be it's not Sister Lives anymore, you guys. We're now gonna call our Monday live streams. What are we doing?
Right. What are we doing?
what are we doing? I don't know. Kathy, thank you so much for the super chat. If Robin hasn't had a drink in a bar, please explain why the court ruled. Good point, Kathy. The court rules she can't drink anything in the presence of her children. Drinking problem, question mark. Now, I myself have never gone through a divorce or child custody or what have you. I know a lot of what like has come out with like Christine and Kody's lawsuit. There's a lot of like standard language that gets included in these things. So I don't know, but that certainly was included. That's for sure. That
Right.
neither.
I've seen more than a few orders, and I haven't run across, unless there is a present issue where they have to point out that you can't have, because your ability to have a beer, like you go out to a carnival or a baseball game, and you can't even sit there and have a libation. Well, I don't know how far I can go on YouTube. I keep saying these titles, but you can't even have a libation. You know what I mean? With your child sitting there. That's, I don't know. That's kind of shaky. That's kind of shaky. And I will say this, when we talk about Robin's little story, my bullshit detective was going crazy because when you ask somebody and you have to answer like, well, I have never had a shot in a bar. I don't even go to bars. How about this? That would be like your significant other coming in saying, have you been cheating on me? I have never went to the Red Roof Inn and slept with somebody. I've never gone to the Days Inn and knocked it down. That's not what I do.
I certainly have never been to that budget motel down the street either. And it certainly wasn't last Wednesday when you had that business meeting, you know. Yeah.
Right. I've never slept with somebody on a business meeting and lied to you about doing it. Like, that means that you just knocking them down at work. That's what that meant. Like, come on. Like, because the question was, have you ever had a shot? Wasn't where you had the shot. It was just a very specific question. Wasn't that detailed? And she couldn't answer the question. That's all I'm going to say on that situation. That's why I was like, And
I believe Robin hasn't had a drink as much as I believe she's an adrenaline junkie. And she just whips around on those ATVs all the time. Like, okay.
Well, even in that light, you've already said that you're willing to lie and deceive to keep certain information away from your children because you don't want to be perceived as being a hypocrite, which is basically what you being a hypocrite. But I get it. That's part of the job. You're as a parent, sometimes you got to be a hypocrite. It is what it is. Yeah. But don't do that. I would never do that. You would totally do that. But the whole thing is that she's established out of her mouth that she's willing to lie and deceive to her kids. So I have no reason to think, I don't think she was an adrenaline junkie, but I definitely think that she was doing things and she was part of things and she participated in things she doesn't want her kids to know about because she's embarrassed about it. And that might even include when she was drinking and when she was hanging out and she was having premarital sex, that she didn't get pregnant the first time she had premarital sex with Dayton. That was, and the dude that knocked her up, Preston, he might not even have been her first dude. So,
what I did love, my favorite part of the teaser for the tell-all is when Christine is like, we've all seen their engagement pictures. I wonder how close they got before they got married. And I was like, oh!
Right. Well, you know what? With all of them, I kind of feel like it's about time y'all started catching up with the conversation.
Yes.
People have been saying the same thing forever. Mary coming out. I don't think that Robin was my friend. Welcome to the club. You just showed up to the party. A little late, but at least you got here.
Yes. You know? I feel like best friend Jen is doing her vindication victory lap, and it must feel so good. I'm so happy for her. Don't know why she's blocked me on Instagram, but I am so happy for her. Let's get to some more of these super chats. Jenny P, thank you so much. The biggest lie was when Robin said she helped out so much in the early years. I mean, really, yes. Or that she never tracked where he was. Well, if he's always with you, then yeah, like.
Well, maybe when Robin said that, what she was referring to, like I helped in the early years, what she was referring to is that when I married Kody legally, I didn't strip mine the entire family fortune. I didn't do you guys a crazy harm. I just stole here and there. I mean, it is
Yeah. Like it could have been way worse, you guys. Like it could have been like Victoria's Secret debt and Nordstrom debt. But it was just
right.
Victoria's Secret. So like could have been way worse. I helped out. I was like supplementary childcare for when Christine had Truly that one time.
Right.
I babysat one or two times.
Janelle's kids that one afternoon.
Yes. Yeah. Stacy Stitches, thank you so much. For evangelicals, it doesn't save you. It's a profession of faith. I love her for doing this. Asking Kody is weird. My church would not have allowed that. Good. I'm glad to get everyone's perspective because different denominations, different faiths, different religions, obviously, all have different perspectives on baptism. The church I grew up in did infant baptism. A lot of churches do not believe in infant baptism. I was baptized by a sprinkle of water. Some people believe in full, like it has to be full immersion. So it's everyone has their own interpretation of what they believe to be the correct way, and I love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. What did shock me was when Aurora was like, "Oh, well, that doesn't mean like I believe what they teach. It just means like I believe in God or whatever." And I was like, "Girl, you are splitting hairs." I don't know. Right. I don't know what's going on here. Right. Sarah D, thank you so much. I believe trusting your child to make their own decisions is the sign that you know you raised your children right. Kody and Robin obviously have no trust in their parenting skills.
I think that's a fair argument.
I mean, Kody's fake washing a sink.
Right.
Like, he's stripping logs and fake washing sinks. And actually, I would like to, I don't know if I talked about it on our live stream, but I did love that when they were on that picnic on Coyote Pass, that they cut to Brianna, like just slicing through those logs. She's splitting them with ease. And meanwhile, the previous episode, Kody is like jamming the chainsaw in the tree and he's just like fucking everything up. Meanwhile, it's Brianna's like, wow. She's Lumberjane over there.
Right. She's an alpha male. That's
yes. I loved that for her. Danielle B, thank you so much. Do you think the girls try to please Kody so they can continue staying in the home? Yes, I do. Yeah. And receiving financial support since he was so eager to kick out Janelle's children during the pandemic. 100%.
Right.
And I plus, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, plus, we also have to take into account that these kids heard all the conversations and commentary about, you know, what they were saying about the other kids. Zero filter. So yeah, they probably are scared, you know, like they don't know how to take them.
Yeah. Totally. And I'm reading some comments here. Hold on. So baptism is not church membership. Yeah, it's different for different churches. Baptism, Kody's baptizing is fake as crap. Some same skills he displayed when he helped Mary unscrew the furniture. Kody and everything Kody does is with gloves all the time with gloves. I have never. And I'm a pretty handy gal. I mean, that's a lie. I'm not the handiest gal, but I'm not completely inept. But I've never had cause to like wear gloves for something. I don't know. And these people, I feel like they're about on my level of handiness and they wear gloves for everything. I don't understand it.
Well, apparently the gloves make you official.
Yeah, it makes it... I got my work boots. I got my work gloves. I got my work hat. I wear a lot of yoga stuff, you guys, and I do not do yoga. So you can I guess dress for the job you want. I don't know. Hey, I'm wearing a yoga hat. And it's like I've never done yoga, so you know.
You like the style, just not the
Yeah, it is what it
just
is.
not the practice of it. I'm not trying to get all sweaty. I ain't trying to sweat my gear out. I just
You know what I would do though? I've seen like animal yoga, like goat yoga, where like you're in a room and like I don't know, like puppies or goats or something could like crawl all over you. That would be a good time. I think that would be fun.
right.
Yeah. Raiders Ma, thank you so much. I believe she didn't drink as much as I believe they waited to have sex until after marriage when breaking God's rules, who jumps straight to sex first? Like I said, you guys, I'm watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and this one episode was all about soaking, about how they get around. Like, if it's penetration but nobody moves, it doesn't count as like sex. And from what I've gathered with Sister Wives, with watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, with watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, like Mormons will find that gray area and exploit the shit out of it.
Right.
But you didn't say we couldn't do this.
Right. Yeah, I gotta say it though. I guess, as a professional backslider, like when when it when it comes down to it, I kind of take the whole soaking and all that kind of thing with the same grain of salt I would take with just a tip. You understand what I mean? Like just something everybody kind of says, like, oh, I just, a little bit, just a little bit. But everybody knows what that means. Wait, before long, it's the whole kit and caboodle. So no.
The chat, we have fully just gone off the rails. This is a finale. This is a chat worthy of a finale worthy of a chat or whatever.
Right.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Carrie Anna, what is going on in here? We've got soaking. We've got JTT, just the tip. Oh my goodness. Right. This is bringing me back.
The little
I'm really hoping that my dad does not watch this stream. That's all I can say. Oh my goodness. Kathy Mosley, thank you. Janelle had one U-Haul truck to move. Robin had 4 alone when moving into the McMansion. Bet 10 won't be enough for this new move. I heard from people that went to, like, when people went and, like, toured the house, that they have, like, storage pod units just on Coyote Pass.
Right. I had heard the same thing.
That's full of Robin shit,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of that trailer stuff, Kody revealed that some of that was from failed businesses too. So
yes. Now that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about. Let's talk about it. What kind of failed businesses?
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't know, like nobody, like there's stuff that we know because of outside reporting, but we don't know it because of the show. Like his was it the show business thing that he was at, the Imperial show business.
Yeah.
That stuff, they don't talk about any of that at all. They don't talk about like any of the their involvement with the MLMs where they're like diamond level participants. They don't talk about any of that stuff. So that would be a big part of their storyline as well.
And their MLM involvement goes like way back. Like, first of all, we started seeing LuLaRoe close circa season like 9. So like it was pretty early on. But even before that, they were part, like Kody's been in MLMs. And they would have like, I heard that the whole reason why Mary needed this wet bar in her Vegas house is because they were hosting like MLM parties.
Right. Well, if you remember, actually the MLM involvement goes back to season 2. Because when they were in Vegas, remember they had the Nissan Murano, the convertible Nissan Murano, you put the top down on. that was a direct result of Kody's involvement with the MLM business.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So they've been involved with MLMs the whole time. So when they
Yeah.
talk about, oh, we have businesses we pursuing, those are the businesses they're talking about.
I would love to have an entire episode of Mary going through all of the shit that she has saved from her marriage to Kody. She saved a whole ass bouquet setup, like
Right.
she has signs. She has like, I would love to just sit and watch her go through box after box and be like, this was from blah, blah, blah. Like, I would love that. I would find that fascinating, honestly.
Right. Well, I think that there is a psychological aspect of it where if you receive so little from your partner, everything that you have with them, shared with them, or anything they've given you becomes a cherished possession. And I think that that's the sad reality of like Mary's existence as far as like her holding on to things. Like I think that she kind of had like the hoarder type mentality anyway, where she just held on to stuff. But I think that a lot of the stuff with Kody, like who the hell keeps dead flowers? Like, oh, I had this flower. This was one of the centerpieces from when we went to that restaurant back in season 1, and Kody told me that he didn't want to have babies with me. Like, what the shit? Why would you save that?
Yeah.
But you get so little.
I know, breadcrumbs. Like, honestly, it's so sad. And then you would want to save that one memory where Kody acknowledged your existence. What did you think? Speaking of like people keeping shit, this whole what was that thing called? Plots or whatever.
Plots, yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. I will say this though.
Yeah.
I said it last night. I'm gonna say it here. I like with the whole, in light of the whole like ring melting thing that Mary endured, that was bad. But when Janelle took that piece of jewelry that Kody gave her, he took that shit out to the middle of the desert, the middle of nowhere, and dropped it off in a rando ass storage bin on the bottom shelf of said storage bin. That's way worse than that.
That was savage. I loved it. And
yeah, that was savage as hell.
I loved it. And I'm just thinking, who's going to be the first sister wife community person to go out to Plots and get their hands on that necklace?
Like that, between that, that sister wife relic jewelry and the dream catcher, those are already going, folks. Save your money. Don't bother going out there. They've already taken them out, I'm sure.
And I love when Christine was like, oh, I love the bag of chips. I was like, there's a 10 out of 10 chance that someone just left their trash in their road trip snacks. And they're like, oh, we'll just add this to the decor. I would have loved a tour of Plots. Let's go through what people have left behind.
Right. I mean, I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
But I'll also say that I was a little dismayed by the jewelry. Like when Janelle pulled that jewelry out and said, this is the necklace that Kody gave me, it was freaking brown. I'm like, what kind of material is this? Like, if you put that on your neck, your whole shit gonna be green.
Dude, and like, they were selling these necklaces for hundreds of dollars.
Right. Right.
Unreal. Yeah. That definitely was not going. That would have turned your neck green for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
They'd have to cut your head off and put it in a bottle because that would have infected everything.
Yeah, totally.
That was disgusting.
Zoe, thank you so much for the super sticker.
All right.
Kikalika just got here. Hey, girl, still at the beginning of the live, just showing some love. I want to smack future Robin, talking about how they need to get my name out of their mouths. Ugh, this show. I'm sick of it. Yeah, Robin has all of the audacity. She really does. It's like, I'm so sick of people blaming me. Girl, well, it's your fault. So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you.
I tell you what, that's supreme confidence, because when you say reckless stuff like that, you should expect people to pull up to the crib. Like you come out of your head with come out of your neck when you look. These folks need to stop worrying about my relationship. Start focusing on what's happening at your house and keep my name about your mouth. Like when you come at somebody with that kind of energy, you have to fully expect to have that energy met. Like that's what people make detours to on. I'm on my way to work. What she say? What? I'm on my way. Skeet. Like you don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah, and oh my God, it's what does Kody say in the coming up on, like, in order to do polygamy, you can't fall in love. And Suki goes, oh, and you fell in love? Oh yeah, I fell in love hard.
Right, right.
Okay, because in season 1, it was love should be multiplied, not divided. So
right, but there was also the point where he told Suki that he's tired of hiding his love for Robin. Like you're the only one hot. First of all, I'm gonna need you to tone it down for a second. Watch your tone, lower your voice, because you're the one who spent the last 18 seasons telling us that you don't have a favorite. It's about finding favor and everything else. You're the one, when we said that you love Robin, was telling us that we were full of shit. We didn't know your life and everything else. Now you want to sit here and be mad because you feel like you shouldn't have to hide your love. We're the ones that told you to go ahead and say it. Say it with your chest, motherfucker. Like, be honest about it. Just come right out and say it. I love Robin. I don't really care for these other three.
What do the cool kids say these days? 10 toes or whatever?
Yeah, stand 10 toes on business. Yeah, stand on
business. Yes. Do that.
10 toes down. Yeah. Yeah, plant your feet and say it with your chest. You know what I mean? I love Robin. Bump them other ones. It would have been terrible. It would have been terrible if he did it. It would have been hard to hear. But at least one, you would have been honest. Two, you would have gave these women an opportunity to be able to get over the situation and find themselves a new situation to be in. So they're no longer bothering you, because that's how you saw them. You saw them like they were bothering you. And they were frustrating and annoying you because all these women think they my wives and they supposed to just be hanging around and I'm supposed to spend time with them. What? Like
sacred loneliness. Duh. Right. Make it happen.
If you want to get into heaven, you got to suffer more.
These wives are so annoying. They want attention. Oh, and that's something Christine talks about in her road trip with Janelle, is that, oh, I was just so needy. Like, no, girl, you just wanted a attentive partner. It's like the mind games that gets played with these women of everything that because in this situation, it's one man and multiple wives. Everything that the man is failing at is somehow their fault. It's their fault. They're needy. It's not that he's not fulfilling his duties as a husband. She's just needy.
Right. Well, because she's not doing her part. And if she follows his detailed list of things to do, then she might also find favor. And that's, look, that whole thing is ridiculous. Like, that makes me want to trip people. Like, are you crazy? Like, stop this. What are we doing with this? Like, that's no way to live your life. All of a sudden, you're denying something that we've been saying that you have been doing, and then you turn around and you get mad saying you tired of denying it. I'm tired of you denying it too. How about that? I'm tired of you denying it too.
Yeah.
Come on, say
we're all sick of it, Kody.
Right.
I'm sure the OG3 are the most sick of it. So, you know.
Right.
Lizzie B, great moderator in the house. Remember to hit that like button for this reality stream. Thank you so much. And Kika Lika. Also, have we talked about how other countries show got Janelle talking about how Scrody drained the family account and put it in his? I heard about that. I have not watched it. I will go look for it. Probably do a video on it. But yes, I did hear about that. They cut the best stuff from the US version. What's up with that?
Because it makes Kody look bad. Like, that shit makes Kody look. Because somebody said that to me last night when I was doing one of my lives. And it derailed me because I'm like, what? What? What did
Yeah.
you do? Which was this now? Like, it's, yeah, man. You can't do that to people. Like, because apparently what happened was Janelle, it was during a conversation she was having with Mary.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and they were talking about getting an attorney and all that about Kody Pass. And at that point, she revealed that not only one, she wanted Kody to take his name off of her account because for some crazy ass fucking pardon my French, for some crazy
Oh,
ass
James, we are
reason,
much beyond that.
we passed the border already.
You just let it all hang out.
We're in gay Paris. But
Yeah.
but for some reason she kept his name on her account. She asked him to take his name off of her account. Girlfriend, take your money, put it somewhere else, open a new account. Forget that stuff. But then she said she was going back to collect documents. Remember, she was putting her case together and she was trying to get documents from the family fund to put her case together to submit to the lawyer. When she logged in to check get those records, the whole account was shut down. So he tried to block her from getting those records. The money, everything gone. Like he got them for all of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, and this woman gonna sit there and talk about, I don't remember how we did the money. You took my money and you gonna sit there and talk about you don't remember what you did with it? Oh yeah. This is what I'm talking about. People would get pulled up on. Like, this is not a thing where you could just do this. Do not try this at home because this is done by professionals.
And okay. I don't know anything about anything, obviously. But aren't they paid by Puddle Monkey into like an LLC? Or haven't they like for years? Like, is there any legal recourse there? Like, I don't know.
Well, see,
like,
here's the problem.
That is wild. That is wild.
Yeah, here's the problem. They were being paid by Puddle Monkey into the LLC fund. Like all the money was, and that was the family fund. It was under an LLC. If you are a named person, and this is why this is such a big, like, this is why I'm kind of happy that, not happy for the OG3, obviously, but happy that this conversation is being had. If you put somebody's name on your account and they have full access to your account, signature authorization for your account, they can withdraw everything from that account. And there's nothing you can do about it. He has absolute right to take every penny out of that account. He doesn't have to justify anything. He can take everything because he's on the account. Like if you have a friend and you open a joint account with your friend and you have your entire paycheck going into that account and your friend is maybe putting in $10 a week, they have the full authority to go back and take out every nickel of that money. And there's nothing you can do about it. If you didn't want them to have access to the money, they shouldn't have been on your account. That's why I was saying Janelle should have just closed it. Like, forget whatever bills you got coming off that account. Just redraft it after you open your new account. Contact the Hulu, YouTube, Discovery Plus, TLC. Just resubscribe under your new account. But don't play this game because courts won't go. There's a lot of courts that won't even get into this. Because like Janelle said in the last episode, we were operating as a family.
Yeah.
Can you give your husband alone?
Off camera.
Huh?
I just realized I'm like leaning, listening to you, but I'm getting more and more like off camera.
Oh shit, yeah. You're too real.
I'm at a loss. I am what?
Yeah. This is crazy.
Oh
but this is also part of the power structure of their family that they deem from the church. Like I said that in a live yesterday, did a whole live about it. Like the whole power dynamic of this family is derived from the church that they were a part of, the people that they fellowshipped with. And everything about the way they lived their life was for Kody to be able to do exactly what he did. It set him up so he could do it. It gave them the mentality and mindset that he's supposed to be in charge. He's not supposed to be questioned. When he makes decisions, those decisions aren't supposed to be discussed. If you do discuss them, then you're nagging him and you're bothering him and you're out of line and out of pocket. And you got to get back into sacred loneliness so you can follow in fellowship with him. And everything that they've done so far has led to this moment where he is able to strip everything from them. Even with him, like, the excuse of, remember when I tried to get you a house? I knew he was going to say that. You can check my video log.
Oh,
I
but
knew he was gonna say that shit.
preferred an RV. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, she wanted the RV life.
Yeah.
But I knew he was going to throw that in her face. But at the end of the day, what was he trying to do? He was trying to get her to buy a house to put his name on it. He wasn't trying to give her a house. He was trying to get himself a house. And everything that they do is always in service of him. And that's how they were living their life. That's how they conducted everything. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that he would have an account that he was the only one drawing, even with the excuse, oh, he was taking money out, large amounts of money out of this account. And nobody said, you know what, we need to shut this shit down, put a freeze on the account until we figure out where this money went the first time he took out a huge deposit. Now, you don't wait till you take out 4 or 5 of them. You only got $300 left out of an account that had 30 grand in it or 120 grand in it. And all of a sudden you got $5,000 and a bunch of receipts from Birkenstock and Gucci. Like, no, we don't do that. So
Birkenstocks are like the best though. So. But you only need like one pair and they last forever. But you know,
Robin got a whole collection.
Creme de la creme of comfort shoe. Once you hit like 35, you gotta get yourself a set of birds. You know? But yeah, you know, Janelle sees all the cruise ship art. She sees all the figurines. We've done the videos. We've Reddit has done the work and they have tallied up how much everything hanging in Robin's house costs. And there's where all the money's gone.
Right. Like I said, I get it. You know, the amount of money that these ladies, like when given the opportunity to go out on their own, they've proven themselves that they can be successful. So hats off to them on that respect. Without the hindrance of Kody, all of a sudden they, Janelle's got 159 acres. Christine has investment properties. Mary got investment properties and a successful business without the hindrance of Kody. So I understand why they might be willing to dust themselves off about Kody Pass, but there's principles involved here. Like there's a couple $100,000 that for each of them that they're just walking away from or letting Kody play around with. So I don't know.
Yeah. We have another super chat from Victoria Perry. Y'all heard about how he bought Robin the painting that Mary wanted. I did.
That was it. That was it.
Go off.
That was the shit right there. That was the one right there. Apparently, for those who don't know, this is the one. This is that I thought it was the bank account thing, but it was this. When I'm sorry, I'm getting crazy, but
go off.
When Mary had wanted a picture. She saw a painting. She wanted that painting. Kody went back, bought that painting, and gave it to Robin. And he told Mary to her face, if you want to see this painting, you can go visit it at Robin's house. What? Are you crazy? Like, that whole house, man. Oh, boy. Like, you trying to get your crib toe up? Like, what are you talking about? You don't come at people like that. It's so disrespectful. The level of disrespect this dude has for these women is crazy. It's crazy.
I literally had to tell, because a couple weekends ago, we took my kids to Disney Animal Kingdom, and my mom wanted to buy both of my kids the same stuffy. And I was like, no. I was like, they can share. We don't need to. First of all, they'll forget about it in 5 minutes. They like have to have it right now. And then it's going to go in the pile of 100 other stuffed animals that we have. But we definitely don't need to. But Kody actually employed that same logic on his wives who live in different houses. Like, we don't need to. Mary, you can go look at it over at Robin's house.
And it's just a level of cruelty.
Fucking guy, man. I can't.
Like if I could see, that would even make sense. Like, I could see if Robin and Mary both wanted the painting, and then he said, you know what, I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to give it to my favorite wife. Cruel, crazy, but okay, there's a logic there. But it sounded like to me, Mary was the one who wanted the painting. And in an effort to constantly be on a tangent where you hurt Mary, you say, no, bump that. I'm not going to get you the painting. I am going to buy it, and I'm going to give it to Robin, and you can go visit it at Robin's house. That is crazy. That's crazy. I wasn't even thinking about a painting, and all of a sudden you show up with a painting. Oh, this is for you because it hurts Mary. Like, what?
I know.
What are you doing?
Like, why does Kody have this thing about like having to like get it? Like he feels like he needs to hurt these women. And I feel like they didn't do anything to him. They all lived in polygamy together, but he feels like he is the biggest victim.
Right.
All of them had a choice according to him, which I would say that's up for discussion. But all of them chose him and he couldn't say no.
Right. Well, because I think that there's also a point where something that Kody had said before, where he had talked about these women are all in the way of my goals and things that I'm trying to achieve for myself. I firmly believe him when he said that. And I think that when he treats these ladies the way he does, with such callousness, this is his coward ass attempt to try to force them out the door and for them to leave so that way he never abandoned them. And this is a choice that they made, because he keeps talking about this being a choice. And so he's trying to make the choice obvious for them and apparent for them so that they choose to leave and he can focus on the one he wants to focus on. Because Robin, let's be honest, Robin makes him feel good because she plays to his ego in a way that the other women don't. So Robin makes him feel good. He makes him feel in a way that the other women just can't, because they struggle with him too much. So that's I think that's a big reason as to why he wants Robin so much. It's not just the physicality, which might be a bonus for him, the nasty meal, but it's also just the fact that when he met Robin, he was on his way up. When he was with the OG3, he was struggling. These women have seen Kody cry over financial issues. They've seen him not be able to pay light bills, electric bills, rely on Janelle to bring her check in and cover bills that he can't cover. They know his vulnerabilities. They've seen him weak. Whereas Robin, she came into the family, he was on his way up. So I think he likes that version of himself more than he likes the struggle version of Kody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also a reason why he's making them suffer, because they saw him cry. They saw him embarrassed.
Yep. We have a few more super chats and then we're going to have to wrap up, you guys, because my tummy is starting to hurt a little bit. But anyways, Kika Lika, thank you so much for the super chat. Janelle had it right last season. It should be legal. If these women are dumb enough to go into it, they should have some legal protections when they smarten up. They're gonna do it regardless. Yeah, I think there's definitely like an argument to be made there. I'm pretty much for if you legalize it, then these women have protection, or in theory that would be how it is. But then, there's all like the dark underbelly of polygamy with like child brides and blah, blah, blah. And like, I get why it's not legal. I'll just say that. But,
right.
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like if they make it legal, they'll just try to find other loopholes. One,
we know. Like, what would be the soaking of polygamy then? Like, okay, polygamy is legal now. How are we gonna push them around it more? Yeah,
right. And then two, I think that if you make it legal for them, we also have to look at how the wives approached it way back when, because Christine's aunt sat on that stage in UNLV and she tried to convince her of everything that was going to happen to her, everything that she was going to go through. In fact, she was so accurate, you would think that the woman was some kind of mystic or some fortune teller.
Yeah.
Everything she said was going to happen because she's seen it. Because this isn't a unique thing that happened with the Brown family. This happens all the time in polygamy. Like, especially if you talk to Note to Self 444, they say all the time, this is just something that happens. But when push comes down to shove, the hardest part of this is that the victims are fighting against you, trying to instill them and empower them with certain inalienable rights.
Mhm.
You're trying to protect them, and they're telling you full with their chest that they don't need your protection. And you don't know what you're talking about because he would never do this to me. And I think that that's one of the things that Janelle still struggles with, because she's said out of her mouth more than once that Kody, I can't believe he would do this to us. He's not going to sell the land out from under us. And she's kind of coming around, but then she always has that, like, he wouldn't do that, would he? You know what I mean? And she's been saying that for years.
Right.
I don't think she thought it was happening.
Time he does. He would.
Right. Right. He absolutely will.
Yeah.
He will.
Kika Lika had to jump to the current time. Love the gloves off. I'm here for the fuckery. This is all of us yelling every Sunday.
Right.
Yep. It sure is. Thank you, Kika Lika. And Brittany, not Brittany, thank you so much. I bet Mary told Robin, and Robin went back and told Kody that she wanted it, as if she never heard about the artist from Mary. I bet you that's probably right. That's probably exactly how that went down.
Or you know what's even worse? I can see gangsta ass Robin going back, oh, Mary like that? Because she's like a little kid. Like, you ever watch two kids? You could have one kid, you give them a toy. Like, you take a box, you have a box, there's a toy in the box, you take the toy out of the box, the little kid will start crying, I want that toy, I want that toy. You give him that toy, and if the older kid is smart enough, he just start acting like the box is the most entertaining thing in the world. And the kid will start, I want the box. I don't want this. I want that. And they'll cry, literally cry for that box. And I think that that's where Mary is, or Robin is. Like, she sees something that's going to make one of the wives happy. I got to have that thing now because they're interested in it. Yep. You know, she probably doesn't give a shit. That painting probably isn't even hanging in Robin's house. It's probably down there on Kody Pass in one of them trailers.
It's probably in plots.
Right. She doesn't even care about that painting.
No.
Just as long as Mary don't have it.
Yeah. What do you have coming out this week, James?
Oh, I have to do some videos, but I think I'm gonna try to run some more lives. So I'm gonna probably drop some more lives during the course of the day, maybe in the evening. So make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that bell for notifications. So when we go live, you know when it happens. What do you have popping?
I'm gonna be getting videos out. I'm gonna go find this extended scene because I am like beside myself right now. So yeah, but we'll be having some more videos coming out this week. But I just want to say thank you to all the mods. Thank you, James, for holding it down last week.
No worries.
I certainly appreciate it. I hope I didn't alienate anybody with my coming in hot at the beginning of this live. I don't want to be a liability for James, certainly. So, but I had to get some stuff off my chest. So I appreciate you guys for letting me rant.
I think I do at least twice an episode. So you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. You're going.
All right, thank you to our mods. I saw Brittany, not Brittany. I saw Lizzie B, Tiffany. Who else did I see? Kendra. Did I see Kendra?
Yeah, Kendra. Tiffany H is in the house.
Yes.
And we have Carmel Cuties. I think I saw her.
Yes, Carmel Cuties. Oh, B Cat. I see B Cat. Yep. And just you guys, the chat in general is just always super chill. So thank you so much, everyone, for keeping it chill. Like and subscribe to both me and James, and we will see you guys in our next videos. All right. Have a good one.
Have a good night, guys. Take it easy.